Aaliyah stumbled out of the front door as her mother shoved her with both hands. The door slammed behind her, the sound echoing across the quiet street. She stood on the porch, shaking, wiping tears that kept falling no matter how hard she tried to stop them. In her hand was a half-tied trash bag filled with clothes she had thrown together while her mother screamed at her to leave. Marianne's voice cut through the air again as she opened the door just long enough to shout, "Get out and never come back!" Her voice was so loud the neighbors' lights flickered on. It didn't matter. Marianne didn't care who heard. She never cared. "You're useless," Marianne spat. "A disgrace. You are the reason this family is falling apart." Evan stood behind her, arms crossed over his chest, watching the scene with a cold, bored expression. "No uchen. No simpesi." He didn't even blink as Aaliyah looked at him, silently begging for someone, anyone, to defend her. But he only raised an eyebrow as if she deserved everything happening to her. Aaliyah swallowed hard, her chest tight with pain and shame. She took one slow step backward, then another, until she was standing on the sidewalk. She felt like her heart had been ripped out. She wanted to scream. She wanted to ask why her mother hated her so much. But no words came out, only tears. She turned away from the house she had lived in her entire life, and walked down the street with her trash bag dragging behind her. Her legs felt weak, her mind spinning with questions she had asked herself for years, but never got answers to. Why me? What did I ever do? Why am I never enough? By the time she reached the bus stop, the night was already cold. She sat on the metal bench, hugging her arms around herself. Cars passed now and then, and the streetlights buzzed softly above her. She kept replaying her mother's words, each one cutting deeper. Her phone suddenly buzzed in her pocket, making her jump. The screen showed an unknown number. For a moment she thought it was Marianne calling to curse her again, but her mother never used unknown numbers. She hesitated, then answered. A calm voice asked, "Hello, is this Aaliyah Cole?" Aaliyah froze. "Cole," she repeated. "That's not my last name." The caller didn't back down. "We need to speak with you, Aaliyah. It's very important. Please meet us tomorrow morning. We've been trying to reach you." Aaliyah stared at the dark road ahead of her, confusion swirling inside her. "I don't understand," she whispered. "We'll explain everything in the morning," the caller insisted. The call ended, leaving the night silent again. Aaliyah lowered the phone slowly, her heartbeat loud in her ears. She didn't move for a long moment. Then, with a shaky breath, she whispered into the empty street, "Who are you people?" Aaliyah is broken because her whole life has been shaped by pain, fear, and emotional control. She grew up in a home where love was something she had to earn. And even when she tried her best, she never received it. From a very young age, she learned that Marianne, her mother, was unpredictable. Some days she would ignore Aaliyah completely. Other days she would yell at her for small mistakes or blame her for things she didn't do. Marianne's voice was always sharp, always ready to remind Aaliyah how unwanted she was. She often said things like, "Be grateful I didn't give you up," words that stayed in Aaliyah's heart like tiny knives. Even when she got older, those words never stopped hurting. But her mother didn't treat everyone this way. Marianne adored her son Evan. She praised him for everything, even the smallest things. If Evan breathed, Marianne found a way to compliment him. If he failed at something, she made excuses. But if Aaliyah succeeded at something, Marianne barely noticed. And if she failed, she was punished with harsh words and cold silence. Because of this, Aaliyah grew up believing she was the problem. She thought something was wrong with her. She wondered why her brother deserved love, and she didn't. She tried harder every year, doing chores, cleaning the house, cooking, trying to keep everyone happy. But it was never enough. Marianne still treated her like a burden. When Aaliyah was old enough to work, she got a part-time job. At first, she felt proud. She thought she could finally buy things for herself, maybe a new notebook for school, or some clothes she liked. But that hope didn't last long. Marianne demanded most of her earnings, saying the family needed it. Aaliyah handed over the money without argument because saying no meant more screaming, more guilt, more emotional punishment. Whenever Aaliyah dreamed about moving out and living her own life, guilt would fill her chest. Marianne always made her feel responsible for the family's problems. Evan also played his part. He mocked her, teased her, and blamed her for their financial issues, even though she was the one working multiple jobs while he stayed home most of the time. He acted as if Aaliyah's only purpose was to serve the family and stay out of the way. As she grew older, Aaliyah still tried to be hopeful. She studied nursing because she wanted to build a stable future. But even then, nothing came easy. She had to work 2 jobs to pay for school, late-night shifts, weekend shifts, holidays, anything she could get. She never received support from home. Not money, not encouragement, not even a "you're doing well." Whenever she came home tired, Marianne would say she was lazy or ungrateful for not doing more around the house. And Evan would laugh, calling her dramatic. Still, she kept going. She pushed herself because she believed that one day, things would get better. One day, she would save enough to move out. One day, she would finally breathe. But there was always something missing, something she didn't understand. Whenever Aaliyah asked about her father, Marianne shut down completely. She acted angry, defensive, even scared. She always repeated the same story. "He abandoned us. He never cared. Don't ask again." Her voice would shake in a way that didn't match the story. But Aaliyah was too afraid to question it. Growing up without a father and with a mother who showed no affection left Aaliyah craving love in a quiet, painful way. She didn't know how to ask for help. She didn't know how to stand up for herself. She didn't know what it felt like to be valued. She learned to stay small, stay calm, and stay out of the way. Her heart became heavy with silence. The silence of not being heard, not being seen. And yet, deep inside, there was still a small part of her that wanted more. Aaliyah dreamed of independence. Even if guilt pulled her back every time. She wanted to feel safe. She wanted to feel free. She wanted someone to look at her and see her. Not her mistakes, not her responsibilities, but her. This quiet suffering shaped her whole world. It made her doubt herself every day. It made her believe she wasn't worthy of anything good. But it also made her strong in a hidden way. A strength she didn't know she had yet. Aaliyah lived her life trapped between fear and hope, between duty and longing. She had survived years of emotional storms without even realizing how much they damaged her. She didn't know it yet, but everything was about to change. Her past, her identity, her entire life, all of it was built on a secret she never saw coming. She meets estate lawyer Rebecca Hayes the next morning at a small cafe near the bus stop. Aaliyah sits quietly at a corner table, her trash bag of clothes under her chair, her eyes tired from crying the night before. She doesn't know what to expect. She only agreed to come because she had nowhere else to go. A woman in a dark suit walks in, scanning the room. When she spots Aaliyah, her whole expression softens with relief. "Aaliyah," she asks gently. Aaliyah nods. "I'm Rebecca Hayes," the woman says, sitting down quickly. "I'm so glad you came. We've been searching for you for months." Aaliyah frowns. "Searching for me? Why?" Rebecca takes a slow breath, as if preparing herself. "Because you're the legal heir of Richard Cole." Aaliyah stares at her, completely lost. "Who is that? I don't know him." Rebecca opens her briefcase and places a file on the table. "Richard Cole was your biological father. He passed away recently." The words hit Aaliyah like a shock of cold water. "My father," she whispers. "No. That's not right. My mother told me he abandoned us. She never said his name was Richard Cole." Rebecca finishes softly. "He was a billionaire. He owned multiple properties, businesses, and investments. And before he died, he left a large part of his estate to you." Aaliyah shakes her head. This feels unreal, like a story that doesn't belong to her. "This must be a mistake," she murmurs. "I never met him. I don't know anything about him." Rebecca slides the folder toward her and opens it. Inside are papers, photographs, and printed emails. She points to the DNA test results first. Aaliyah's name printed clearly next to Richard Cole's, showing a perfect biological match. Then Rebecca shows her pictures. Richard holding a small baby, letters written in his handwriting, documents proving he had been trying to contact her for years. Aaliyah covers her mouth with her hand. Her heart races. She can't breathe for a second. "My mother, she never told me any of this," she whispers, her voice shaking. "She said he never cared." Rebecca shakes her head gently. "He cared very much. He tried everything to be part of your life, but someone blocked him out." Aaliyah feels her whole world tilt. All those years of silence. All those times she asked about her father, and Marianne snapped at her. All the anger, the shame, the confusion. It was all because her mother hid the truth. Rebecca continues. Richard left you a mansion worth $40 million, along with several other assets. However, for legal processing, you must move into the mansion within the next 24 hours. Aaliyah's breath catches. Move into a mansion? But I don't have anything. I don't even have a place to stay tonight. You do now, Rebecca says kindly. Everything is ready for you. You only need to step into the home your father prepared for you. Aaliyah lowers her head, tears slowly rolling down her cheeks. It's too much, too fast, too shocking. She feels like her life has been flipped upside down. Everything she believed, everything she lived with, all the pain she accepted as normal, it was all built on lies. She whispers, barely able to speak. Why would my mother hide this from me? Rebecca doesn't answer. She doesn't have to. Aaliyah already knows. Her mother didn't want to lose control. Aaliyah presses her hands over her face, crying softly at the table. For the first time, she realizes her life could have been different, safer, happier, filled with love she never received. Her whole world was stolen from her. And now the truth has finally caught up. Aaliyah returns to her neighborhood to collect her belongings later that afternoon. Her steps feel heavy as she walks down the familiar street. Every house, every mailbox, every crack on the sidewalk reminds her of the life she thought she understood. But now everything feels different. She is not the same girl who left crying the night before. When she reaches the house, the front door swings open before she can knock. Marianne stands there with narrowed eyes and tight lips. Where did you sleep last night? Marianne demands, her voice sharp. Who were you with? Aaliyah lowers her eyes. That's not your business. Marianne's face twists with anger. Excuse me? After everything I do for you, you disappear and come back with attitude. She steps closer, pointing a finger at Aaliyah's face. You think you can just run away and act grown? Aaliyah says nothing. She simply walks inside, heading toward her room. Her silence bothers Marianne more than anything. Oh, so now you're too good to talk to me? Marianne snaps. After all the sacrifices I made? After I fed you, raised you, cared for you? Her voice suddenly softens, becoming fake and sweet. Baby, you know your mother loves you. You can't stay mad over a small fight. Aaliyah freezes. The sudden shift from anger to affection makes her stomach twist. She has seen this many times before. The guilt, the manipulation, the sweetness that only appears when Marianne fears losing control. Before Aaliyah can respond, Evan walks into the hallway, rolling his eyes. Mom's been worried sick, he says in a scolding tone. You should apologize. You stressed her out for no reason. Aaliyah turns to look at him. For the first time, her eyes are steady. I didn't do anything wrong. Evan scoffs. Wow. Look at you. Acting tough now. I'm just telling the truth, Aaliyah says quietly. Her heart shakes inside her chest, but she keeps her voice calm. I'm done taking the blame for everything. Both Marianne and Evan stare at her, stunned. They are not used to this version of Aaliyah, the one who stands up for herself. Marianne steps forward. You better watch your mouth, she warns. You have no idea how good you have it in this house. Aaliyah looks around the small, tired-looking living room. The peeling paint, the stained carpet, the empty spaces where love should have been. She takes a slow breath. I'm just here to get my things. Marianne's eyes widen with fear. What do you mean? You're leaving. Her voice shakes. Where will you go? Who is filling your head with this nonsense? Aaliyah doesn't respond. She moves to her bedroom and begins packing the clothes she left behind. As she folds them, small memories come back, moments she used to ignore or push away. She remembers letters that arrived for her when she was younger. Marianne always grabbed them faster than she could. Marianne said they were junk mail. But now Aaliyah wonders who they were really from. She remembers phone calls that came late at night. When she answered once, Marianne snatched the phone and hissed into the receiver before hanging up. Wrong number, she had said with a forced smile. She remembers how Marianne panicked whenever mail arrived with Aaliyah's full name on it. She would tear the envelopes, throw them out, or hide them in her bedroom. All the pieces start fitting together. Her mother didn't just hide her father, she hid everything. Aaliyah finishes packing and zips her small bag. She steps into the hallway where Marianne stands trembling with anger. You are not leaving this house, Marianne says in a low voice. You belong here. We are your family. No. Aaliyah replies softly. Family doesn't treat me like this. She walks past her mother, Marian reaches out as if to grab her arm, but Aaliyah steps back before she can touch her. Evan crosses his arms. "You're making a big mistake," he mutters. "Don't come crawling back when you realize you're nothing without us." Aaliyah doesn't reply. She simply walks out the front door, for the last time. As she heads down the street, her phone buzzes. A message from Evan. "You're turning your back on your only family. Don't expect us to forgive you." Aaliyah shuts off her phone. For the first time, the silence feels peaceful. Later that evening, Rebecca drives her to the mansion. When they pull up to the gates, Aaliyah's breath catches in her throat. The house is huge, grand, glowing softly under the evening sky. It doesn't feel real. She steps inside slowly, her footsteps echoing on the marble floor. It is beautiful. It is enormous. It is everything she never imagined she could have. And yet, she feels both overwhelmed and scared. Her old life is gone. Her new life is beginning. Aaliyah stands in the center of the mansion's entrance hall, her heart beating hard. This is her father's home. And now, it is hers too. Richard tried to be part of Aaliyah's life long before she even knew it. Rebecca explained everything clearly, laying it out for Aaliyah like pieces of a puzzle finally falling into place. "Your father wanted to be with you," Rebecca said softly. "He sent letters, gifts, even tried to meet you. He wanted joint custody, to watch you grow up, to give you a better life." Aaliyah's eyes widened. She remembered all the times she had asked her mother about her father and been shut down, yelled at, or ignored. Now it made sense. All those hidden letters, the phone calls Marianne intercepted, the panic when mail came for her. It wasn't that he abandoned them. Her mother had blocked him out. Why would she do that? Aaliyah whispered, her hands trembling. Rebecca sighed. She was afraid of losing control. At first she rejected his money, saying she didn't need him. But later, she secretly accepted it and hid everything from you. Aaliyah felt a wave of anger and hurt wash over her. All those years of emotional abuse, all the shame, the guilt, the constant feeling of being less than, it all clicked. The way her mother always compared her to Evan, the way she belittled Aaliyah for trying, for working hard, for dreaming. It was all part of a plan to keep her under control. I can't believe it," Aaliyah whispered, her throat tight. "All this time it wasn't me. It was her." Determined to face the truth, Aaliyah returned to confront Marianne. She stood in the living room of her old home, her packed bag at her feet. Marianne's eyes narrowed as soon as she saw her. "You're back," Marianne said, her voice cold but forced calm. "Why? What do you want now?" "I want answers," Aaliyah said steadily. "I know the truth now." Marianne's lips pressed into a thin line. "What truth?" "Don't believe everything you hear." Aaliyah shook her head. "I know about Richard. I know you blocked him out. I know you hid letters, money, everything." Marianne's face twisted, first into anger, then into defensiveness. "That man ruined my life," she snapped. "He left me, left you, left everything. Do you know what that means? I had to survive. I had to do what was best for me, for this family." "No," Aaliyah said softly, though her voice shook. "You did it for yourself. You kept me from him so you could stay in control. That's why I've suffered all these years." Marianne's eyes filled with a strange mix of fear and desperation. She whispered, almost breaking down herself, "If he had taken you, I would have nothing. So I kept you." Aaliyah felt her legs weaken. Her mother's confession hit her harder than any scream or insult ever had. The grief, the betrayal, the years of confusion and pain. It all came crashing down at once. Tears rolled freely down her cheek. She wanted to scream, to lash out, to demand the years back. But instead, she took a deep breath and made a choice. She would not let Marianne control her anymore. She would not give her the power to hurt her ever again. Aaliyah straightened, wiping her tears. "I forgive you," she said softly. "But I will never let you manipulate me again. I'm leaving for good." Marianne opened her mouth to protest, but Aaliyah walked past her, through the hallway, and out the front door. She didn't look back. For the first time, Aaliyah felt a strange mixture of sadness and freedom. She had lost years of trust and love, but she had gained something far more powerful: control over her own life. The mansion awaited her, the life her father had wanted to give her. And for the first time, Aaliyah realized she was stepping into a future built on truth, not lies. Aaliyah rebuilds herself from the ground up. She moves into the mansion her father left her, still feeling a little overwhelmed by its size and beauty, but also comforted by the sense that this is finally her place. For the first time, she has space that is truly hers, a home where she can breathe, think, and be herself without fear. She begins therapy, sitting with someone who listens without judgment, helping her untangle years of pain and confusion. Slowly, she starts to understand that none of the abuse she suffered was her fault. She learns to stop blaming herself for her mother's cruelty and her brother's coldness. Each session helps her heal a little more, giving her strength she didn't know she had. In her quiet moments, Aaliyah reads her father's private letters. Each one is filled with warmth, love, and hope. He had never given up on her. He had tried to be part of her life in every way he could, sending gifts, letters, and even attempting to meet her. Reading his words makes her heart ache, but also gives her comfort. She finally feels seen, wanted, and loved. Evan eventually reaches out, his messages softer than before. He admits that he never understood their mother's brokenness and how it affected them both. Aaliyah reads his words carefully. She does not immediately respond, but inside, she feels a small opening toward understanding and forgiveness. She sets boundaries, protecting herself from being pulled back into old patterns, while allowing space for change. Using her inheritance, Aaliyah begins supporting mental health programs for girls and young women who have suffered emotional abuse. She wants others to find the help and support she only discovered now, so they don't have to feel as lost as she once did. Slowly, Aaliyah feels confidence returning. She walks through the mansion with her head held high, knowing she has earned her place in the world. Peace settles in her heart as she starts to trust herself and her choices. For the first time, she feels the love she was denied for so many years, not just from her father, but from within herself. Aaliyah's life is no longer defined by fear, guilt, or shame. She has taken control of her story, building a future on truth, love, and strength. Each day she grows stronger, more confident, and more certain that she finally belongs. Aaliyah sits on the mansion balcony, the evening breeze brushing her face as she holds her father's final letter in her hands. The paper feels fragile, but the words inside carry a weight that makes her heart swell. She reads slowly, letting each line sink in. Richard wrote, "If life ever pushes you out, may you step into a place where you finally belong." Aaliyah closes her eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. Tears come, but this time they are not only from sadness. They are tears of relief, love, and understanding. She whispers softly to herself, "I belong now." The city stretches out below her, lights twinkling like stars fallen to the earth. The hum of life moves around her, but she feels a calm that she has never known. The fear, the guilt, the pain of years past, it is all fading. She feels strong, whole, and free for the first time in her life. Aaliyah leans back in the chair, letting the wind carry away the last pieces of doubt. Her heart feels lighter, her mind clearer. She is no longer the girl trapped by lies, manipulation, and abuse. She is a woman who knows her worth, her strength, and her place in the world. From the balcony, looking over the city she now calls home, Aaliyah feels peace. She is finally free. She is finally loved, and she is finally herself. A quiet smile spreads across her face. Her journey has been long and painful, but she has arrived stronger, wiser, and ready for everything life has to offer. Hey besties, thanks for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stories. See you next time.